Hi there, welcome to Wyckoff Technical Analysis for Worldcoin. So starting from today, I'm going to bring in some new coins that are either on the trending or most viewed list on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. So let's get started. As usual, whenever there's a new coin that I cover, I'll start from the very beginning, bringing in key levels as well as the Wyckoff tags. So the videos may be a little bit longer, but I'll make it quick. This is live, so it's as quick as I can with these two physical hands. So let's get started. We're already in the chart, and so this Worldcoin chart here, I just need to bring in those tags. So yesterday we did ship, so let's borrow tags on the weekly time frame from there. So all the key levels plus the stages of Wyckoff, and then distribution cycle. I think, yeah, that should be enough. Let's move back to Worldcoin. So this we have to pretty much enlarge a little beyond the auto. And okay, let's start with the key levels. Let's unlock, and then the red one should go to here. I know there's something below it, but let's not include the extreme for the time being. This we have 3 points here at least that can be our reference. And next, the orange key level. I would pick right there. Reason, you see this platform over here, right? The horizontal 5 candlesticks. This peak over here, this wick, this valley basically. This side not that big, but still basically two red candles and one white candles bottom right there. So that's the orange key level. Yellow. That I would give it this. So one reference point, the other reference point, 4 candles over here, 2 red candles top, 1 red candles bottom, and a couple of here as well. That's why I put the yellow key zone or key level over there. Then the green. So where is a good spot? So remember, I usually take at least 3 to 4 reference points in order for a level to be key for me. So it may be different from people to people. You have to find out your own principle. So here we've got the automatic, I haven't moved the tags yet, rather that's over here, the LPS one. So that's what I'm trying to say. So these candles were, like the wick went through a bit, the top, even though it's a bit of distance, but we see it's close enough. Remember, the key level is never just one thin line, it is a range. And then these two candles exchange hands, SOS, this little peak over here, yeah, that plus this over here. That should be alright for the light blue. And then the blue. This is going to get tricky because we are entering the outliers, the peaks of the peaks area, the buying climaxes. So it's not easy to find 3 reference points. So where it's sitting now may be relevant because these 2 candlesticks, you see the tail, not the tail exactly, but the body's tail, not the wick's tail. And then the head over here plus the white wick that came down here as well. This side not as much of a key reference, but at least we can pick the most recent peak and set it right there. Finally, the purple, definitely it goes to the where the buying climax was. So that's for our key levels. Let's log them and adjust the numbers. So that's 0.77, just to simplify it to 2 decimals, 1.22 roughly, and this 1.63, it's gone. Press the wrong button. Yeah, just want to remove this new line character. Okay, the green, I'm just checking where I have moved something accidentally, because it looks to me it shouldn't be. Now that I take a second look, there's a level over here, the automatic reaction, plus a few more candles. Yeah, I think I should change the green over here. Yeah, just to make a little bit of adjustment, or maybe I moved it accidentally, it shouldn't be. So here 2.08, this level 2.54, and then here 3.05 or 04, still fine, 3.81. So those are the key levels we have. Now we get into the Wyckoff tags. I already dragged some of the distribution cycle patterns over, the tags over here. We've got the PSY, the buying climax, automatic reaction, last point of supply here as well. You can say that's a sign of weakness, but it's not a clear one, so let's skip that. And then accumulation cycle. So let's do the one earlier on in 2024 first. Let's say that's the preliminary support, selling climax, automatic rally, second test, sign of strength, back up, last point of support. Then that's where the PSY goes. Okay, back to the 2025 accumulation. That started somewhere in February. Preliminary support, selling climax, yep, somewhere around here, automatic rally. Then second test, this over here that happened on July 21st, or the week of July 21st. We can still consider there's a little bit of sign of weakness, not as high as the automatic rally, but still high enough to touch the key level of 1.22. And then more tests just happened. Okay, so that's for the weekly time frame. And now let's get to the daily as well before we get to the analysis. So when I finish the video, I'll add back the timestamps so it's easier with the chapters when you go through later on. So again, let's borrow the text from ship. Let's enlarge it. Just need to bring a couple of key ones. Let's bring back up LPS, PSY. Well, we've got LPSY, that's okay. Okay, let's go back to Worldcoin. Okay, here we go. Daily chart. Clean and clear with just the rainbow key levels. So, very tricky. Again, very busy chart. It will become once we add in the tags. So let's move them up so make sure we see everything. Let's start with, that's really difficult over here because when it accumulates there were some minor distributions. Let's say that's the buying climax. That's the upthrust. And then the upthrust of the distribution. That looks like what it is to me, at least. Automatic reaction. So if you are not new to this, you know I like to tag these as AR2, and then, well, basically the AR3 was right there, but it's pretty tight, the space. Anyway, I'll put that in just to make it clearer for everybody. Here, there is the LPSY, and multiple LPSYs as well. And eventually, preliminary support, selling climax, automatic rally, and then there's no SOS I copied, so let's drag one and change it to SOS. Backup and last point of support right there, and yeah, we haven't copied PSY, so let's move the LPSY and tag this PSY over here. That should be the next buying climax. And LPSY, again, of course we have automatic reaction right there. And interestingly, this cycle is, well, the price is quite high, but that's only the buying climax over there. There's no upthrust of the distribution, not even a second test. So that's fine for me, at least. That looks alright for now. The tricky part is whether this is a sign of weakness or it's an accumulation. I would determine that to be an accumulation because that's what happened over here. Even though this went pretty high, that's how I would decide that's the selling climax. I don't want the other tag. Selling climax, automatic rally, second test can go to here. And then that's an impressive sign of strength right in August, mid-August. Then it came down to a low point that's lower than these two guys, the second test and selling climax, and even lower point after that as well. So we can just simply call them tests. The subsequent ones, there are multiple. If I change it to a line chart, it's easier. Multiple dips. So just move the test over here so we know there were multiple. And then this went even lower before the climb that we're seeing right now. Well, you know what it is if you have been following Wyckoff. That's the spring. So there it goes. Here we are seeing some moves already at the end of this daily time frame Wyckoff chart. And let's skip these ones. We probably don't need those. Oh, I see one we can add. Let's put it here, just to make best use of it in case we need to copy in future. So the price is getting towards somewhere near the sign of strength now. But before we start in the daily, let's go back to the weekly, because that's the foundation of how far the daily can go. As of now, we see a pretty tall white candle over here. I'm using white because it is easier for everybody to see, including people that has like color differences or like color detection differences. So it would be different from some of the charts you see in other YouTube videos. So the white means the price goes up. So here we're seeing it should be at least in the middle, if not the end of the accumulation cycle of Wyckoff. So the key question is, when is this going to happen, right? One thing I usually check is the Bollinger and Koerner squeeze is an indication whether a bigger price move is coming. And if this happens on the weekly chart, it will be something even prominent than it happening in the daily. So that means the swing will be higher. I mean, the price range or the price swing will be wilder. So It's difficult to pronounce the word wilder, but it probably meet the code of the Worldcoin, WLD, wild. So here, we see a squeeze that happened back in November 2024, right? That's right before the price went to the buying climax back in December. So right now we're seeing a squeeze that started sometime in June, and then we are like 3 months in it now. The force or the power that's been gathered by the squeeze hasn't been released yet. So when this eventually happens, this will bring a price move, hopefully not lower than what we had back in 2024. Nobody knows yet like how many people are going to FOMO in to drive the price to whatever level, but at least we know these key levels are going to be challenged when this happens. So it's either doom or the moon. So either it shoot to the moon or it's the game over for the coin. I usually mention this in a couple of sessions. So because the big price move is coming, then if the Bollinger Band corner squeeze doesn't tell us the direction, we'll combine this with Wyckoff plus the candlestick pattern analysis just to have a few more indicator combining together to give us the indication. But it never will be 0% chance to either side. So there are always scenarios that nobody expect would happen. So always set a stop loss. And back to the chart here, besides the squeeze, what we can see is also, if I draw a line over here and another line from the bottom, it's basically a pennant over here. So for how far you draw the line, is it here or there, it doesn't matter because it's pretty much more or less the same. You can do this as well, it's a bit flatter, but anyway, the key is these two lines converge to a point somewhere in the first week of October. That's the key. So that means whatever price move we're having now, if it doesn't break out this week or next, eventually by end of this month, latest by first week of October, the breakout will happen. So this narrowing trend will eventually finish and then a new trend will start. So I'll keep these lines over here, and then remember this is the backdrop. We're at the mid-late stage of the accumulation and a breakout is about to happen. Plus the Bollinger Band corner squeeze is happening in the weekly as well. So when we go to the daily, we're seeing the climb towards here, and the price is being rejected by this top line right there. So when I drew this line, you saw it, right? It's live. So I only drew it at the weekly, but then when we came in, we immediately already see where the rejection point is, right? The price got pushed right below this line, so I didn't draw it on the daily chart, it's just naturally happened. So back to the point here, after the spring, supposedly that's the like near the end of an accumulation cycle for Wyckoff textbook definition, and if that is really the case and the price is now trying to break outside of this upward slanted resistance line, wishful thinking or bullish thinking is that it breaks out, go beyond where the sign of strength was, and challenge this orange key level. Ideally breaking above it. That's 1.22. That's the first point. So it can be a new buying climax. So while I'm talking, I'll put in this over here. Obviously there will be PSY in between, but the key is the climax, right? So it probably won't end just at the buying climax, because in the weekly we are seeing the same thing. They are though both Wyckoff patterns are at similar stage near the middle or end of the accumulation. So if both goes towards distribution, then the daily chart will become very busy depending on how the price goes up, right? So if it's very smooth, like the one we saw back in here in 2023, or even late 2024 all the way into December 2024, that's the straight up situation. So there probably won't be a lot of swings in the daily chart. That would make it cleaner, and that means there may be buying climax plus upthrust, or if it's crazier swings, then we'll have more. For now, let's keep it simple. Let's say let's expect these to happen in the coming 2 weeks to 3 weeks time, because we already mentioned right there that we're getting close to a breakout situation first week of October by the latest. So this is about to begin. Ideally, again, after this, if this continue to go up, because the buying climax for the weekly can go as high as the purple key level of 3.81, right? So this hopefully doesn't end here, and it should go somewhere around, or at least between the yellow and the green key level. And later maybe there's an upthrust towards a higher level, we don't know yet. For now, let's keep these two over here plus one more, because the daily happens so quickly. I don't know when next we'll come back to this to cover this Worldcoin. I'll just put in a few more tags. There should be an automatic reaction as well, and like I said, maybe an upthrust if the weekly is really heading towards buying climax, basically in the weekly time frame. So these guys may be even at a higher level, just not sure at the moment, and maybe an upthrust of the distribution at purple as well. But that's so much we're going to draw now. So after the breakout, it may not be immediate heading towards this. So there may be a period of backup and last point of support that you see this kind of like a horizontal. Let me enlarge this, because if you're on mobile you probably can't see it if I don't do this. So that's the plateau or the platform stage I usually mention. So you see pretty flat bottom for these 5 candles, and then the price started to climb. Right now, let's say we kind of have a little bit of platform right there after the spring, and then that's where we're coming, but it's not as flat as what I've just shown you. There is a chance that it happens one more time somewhere around here before this happens. So it's a possibility, but not a necessity. So it can still go crazy if people start FOMOing in. But I have to explain different situations for you, so when that happens, you know what that is. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for now. We have covered from weekly to daily, the time window about like it's happening in less than 3 weeks, or at most 3 weeks time. Finger crossed, if you are a Worldcoin supporter, hopefully it happens towards the good side and the project still goes healthy. Those are the key points, like in addition, or actually the basis or foundation before any technical analysis. If a project doesn't work, doesn't go well in the long run, any technical analysis doesn't matter. Thanks for joining me.